Woodstock 1969 was a 3-day music festival on a farm in Bethel, New York. Over 500,000 people attended the festival to witness 32 acts, find peace, indulge in the surrounding love, and feel accepted amongst everyone. This festival had many ups and downs, yet it is remembered as one of the greatest and most pivotal moments in music history.
During the 1960s, the United States was a part of the civil rights movement, the anti-war movement, as well as the controversial Vietnam War. The civil rights movement focused primarily on gaining equal rights for all Black Americans. There were peaceful and violent protests organized by Martin Luther King Jr. and other activists. The idea of freedom and racial equality fluctuated around the United States and played an important role in the beliefs surrounding the Woodstock Festival. Another major movement that contributed to the beliefs expressed at Woodstock was the anti-war movement. This movement was a social movement that opposed the nation's decision to start or contribute and carry on any armed conflict. The anti-war movement was vastly growing in the United States due to the brutality of the Vietnam War. Woodstock allowed more people to want to promote peace and love in the world and join positive actions such as the desire to not continue or promote wars. The final impactful event that was closely intertwined with Woodstock was the Vietnam War. The U.S. soldiers that traveled far and wide to protect the citizens of our country were struggling through hardship and needed to find confidence in a motivational booster. News from Woodstock moved quickly and spread the message of love and harmony between loved ones so that it was heard from all across the globe.
Woodstock quickly became the place where all equal rights, anti-war, and pro-drug American activists could gather to release their tensions about their country through music. However, this was not the initial intentions of John Roberts, Joel Rosenman, Artie Cornfield, and Michael Lang, the creators of the festival in 1969. These 4 men created the music festival as an investment opportunity. They also wanted a place where people could listen to music and spread unity and peace, and that's exactly what it was, only with much more interest from the public than expected. With the festival becoming such a success, the small New York roads couldn't handle the traffic. On Bethel's Highway 17B, a major New York highway, there was a traffic jam that stretched for 20 miles, causing most people to abandon their cars and walk to the festival. Those who made it to the festival were able to witness the spectacular music, some of which included the Grateful Dead, Arlo Guthrie, The Who, Joanne Baez, Jimi Hendrix, and many more. Within the festival itself, there were multiple problems. Some of these problems included not enough sanitation facilities, food, water, and there were also a multitude of minor injuries and a few major injuries. There was also a torrential downpour on the first night of the music festival, turning the entire area into a sea of mud. The attendees' sleeping bags and clothes were hopelessly soaked and muddied. There were high temperatures, violence, and even a few accounts of sexual assault. Yet, it's partially because of all of these problems that Woodstock 1969 is so memorable. And even the people there didn't let these problems stop them from having the best time possible.
How about the problems that people have been talking about? Those things bother you? Water and shortage of food.
We've been locked out of our car without any money for 3 days. No sleeping bags. So I guess it was bothering us too much.
Even though the people who attended the music festival all witnessed the same live performances and events, everyone had an array of different experiences.
I was just 18 when I went to Woodstock in 1969, and it was the best 3 days of my life.
There were at least 200,000 people there. Every one of those people had someone on their shoulders. That made it around 400,000. I hitchhiked 16 hours just to be there. I mean, the lineup had Carlos Santana, the Grateful Dead, a beached whale that had washed up on stage,
Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, The Who, a decent The Who cover band,
Janis Joplin, the man with the world's longest fingernails, and a traveling performer named the Incredible Birthing Woman who gave birth to me live on stage.
It was incredible.
The performance I remember the most was probably Carlos Santana. He played a few songs, then stopped abruptly and dropped his guitar. After a quick pause, he whispered, "It's climb time," and started climbing up the scaffold.
While the attendees each had varying experiences and perspectives about the concert, the performers had a completely different interaction with the event. Carlos Santana, for example, was one of the many artists that decided to tell his story to the world.
But let's go back to 1969. You're 22 years old. You make the lineup. You only get paid $750 to play, and that is the beginning of the rest of your life.
Yes, God has always put great archangels that I call, like Bill Graham and Clive Davis, to help me walk to this humongous door. You know, Woodstock was a door that I walked in and all these people were there, same as Supernatural. You know, I just feel really grateful because I got to witness with these eyes that humans can coexist with unity and harmony, with no fights, and share granola and a blanket, and that's what we're still talking about Woodstock.
The impact of the Woodstock Festival in 1969 was far greater than what the original creators intended for it to be. Not only did people turn their heads at the news of the festivals becoming such a hit, but they also witnessed how it revolutionized the world. This extraordinary music festival had vast effects on society after the event took place. While a music festival was incapable of stopping the Vietnam War or social injustice, it did allow people of varying races, genders, and religions to gather together in unity to hold the country together when it seemed to be deteriorating most. No event since Woodstock has even come close to the political and social power expressed in 1969. Woodstock opened politicians' eyes on the public's desires, such as withdrawing from the Vietnam War. It showed record labels that meaningful music with messages must be created. Playing at Woodstock launched the careers of numerous musicians due to the immensely large crowd and press associated with the event. The 1969 Music Festival also played a major role in future music events. Woodstock's diverse mix of genres enhanced music diversity at all festivals. The introduction of different genres and lineups is a testament to the power that all variety of music brings. It allows artists from different backgrounds to share an environment of creativity along with mutual respect for one another. Woodstock also influenced the security measures in pre-production planning at music festivals. Due to the Woodstock Festival being a quote-unquote free-spirit gathering, there was no intentions of there being more than a minimal amount of security. Because of the lack of security, there was a multitude of accounts of violence and chaos. After the realization about all the safety concerns, today's festivals have firm security measures so that there's an immense amount of safety and everyone can enjoy their time at the festival. Along with Woodstock's security problems, they also had their fair share of health concerns. Due to the lack of sanitation facilities at Woodstock, today's music festivals make sure that they have enough sanitation facilities that include fresh water supply. They also make sure to have enough food and medical equipment so that every attendee can stay healthy and thriving to continue their enjoyment at the music festival. Even locals in Bethel, New York, where the event occurred, like 15-year-old at the time Steve Gold, claimed that Woodstock taught him and the world important lessons about community and caring. He said even though there were a lot of social issues being debated and protested at the time, at Woodstock, everyone was equal. People were willing to set aside their differences long enough to have some good old-fashioned fun without discrimination. This festival provided the world with a realization that if people really wanted to, they could join together to change the world.
Because of Woodstock, people are able to embrace their differences rather than hide them. People are more able to be comfortable in their own bodies and love whoever they want. They no longer need to feel ashamed of who they are or where they came from because the Woodstock Festival showed the world that love can overpower hatred and there is no need to be anyone but yourself.